a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and joining us here on your Tampa Bay Consumer Advocate program, all about helping you win in any marketplace. Great lineup for you today. Dr. Scott Anderson batting leadoff here on the show as well, arctampabay.com. Share the Love charities as well. You've heard Dr. Scott on the program. We're going to talk about stress, anxiety, parenting, and some other hot topics here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Quick shout out to our friends at Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show, Replenish IV Solutions. Say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan and their team over at replenishivsolutions.com, replenishivsolutions.com. You can find them online there as well. Gandy location, Bay Area, multiple Bay Area locations, but the best location sometimes is either at your home or office. They will come to you, and what we're talking about here is the Myers cocktail, these vitamin infusion drips directly into your bloodstream. replenishivsolutions.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives. A couple of hot listings here from the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Beautiful beachfront condo available at 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F. This is in Indian Shores. Beautiful Pinellas County beaches. Beachfront condo here. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet. You had a beautiful property. Now, this property has 3 balconies overlooking the Gulf of Mexico or the Intercoastal Waterway, and it's a great opportunity to own a beach property or maybe even a beach rental. A couple of major points to talk about. Short-term rental is available. Yes, you can Airbnb this. And then also, secondly, you only have a $250 only per month fee, $250 per month. Great opportunity, $1 million listing on the beach. And another listing here, let's look at another listing here at 5642 Egrets Place, Newport Richey. 5642 Egrets Place, Newport Richey. Now, this one is a gorgeous Mediterranean palace. This home is beautiful. I absolutely love this property. It's one of my favorites right now. This one here in Newport Richey is 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 2967 square feet. You have just under a quarter-acre lot. Main entrance balcony, heated pool with the waterfalls, gorgeous pool, pavers around it as well, elevator inside the home, access to the garage as well, 2 sets of sliders, lots of updates and upgrades, beautiful gourmet kitchen, center island sink and wine refrigerator there, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, wood cabinets, and a beautiful clubhouse as well, clubhouse, heated pool, lighted tennis courts as well in the community, and you have a private quarter-mile Gulf Front Beach Club membership to that as well. 5642 Egrets Place, Newport Richey, Florida, and you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Yeah, I'm racing my class saving our ass overseas.
All right, Dr. Scott Anderson, welcome back in, sir.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in. And
Yeah,
appreciate that, and look forward to always chatting with you. I mean, this is a major issue happening in the United States right now. This stress and anxiety, and the
mental health
parenting.
and the substance abuse crisis is running rampant.
Yeah,
that's something I've been on the front lines fighting for a while now. So I'm glad to have the opportunity to talk about it. One of the things that I try to impress upon people is the importance of taking care of yourself. It's tough times right now. When I say it's tough times, meaning that society is seemingly collapsing around us. So we want to be able to find out what can we do about that. Well, how can we stay stable and secure in our existence during this mess? I talk about wellness all the time with a lot of the classes that I do in patients, and the best way to get stability when there is mental instability like stress, anxiety, things getting overwhelmed, procrastination, all kinds of good stuff, is to start from the basics. Everybody needs to get what I call home base, and you have to create your home base within yourself. First thing is to understand that you interact in the world multiple different ways. You're not one-dimensional. You're multidimensional. So we have a treatment concept called the 5 dimensions of a person: physical, emotional, cognitive, spiritual, and social. And you have to understand that you interact in all of those ways. So you're only as strong as your weakest link. If you have stability, it's because your strength is in all of those areas combined. The first one that I talk about is physical stability. One of the things that's the easiest to do for a person to get stable is to be able to control how much exercise they do, what they put into their body in terms of nutrition, and then sleep. If you're feeling overwhelmed by stress, anxiety, I'll put it into practical sense. Let's say that work is overwhelming to you. Let's say that the economy is got you depressed, and kids and marriage and relationships, and you're just feeling overwhelmed. That doesn't mean you're mentally ill. It just simply means that you're normal. And because of the circumstances that you can't control, you get overwhelmed. And then that starts to cause a little bit of depression, a little bit of anxiety, get overwhelmed, you start to procrastinate, you start to feel sick, it lowers your immune system. All kinds of issues happen from that. So how do you stabilize this practically? First thing is take the physical part of your existence and exercise regularly. That's going to help with the stress, the anxiety. It's going to help reset the chemistry in your brain. Nutrition, liken that to a car. If you have bad gas in your car, it's going to run terribly. So you have to be able to reasonably eat well. So cut out processed foods, sugars, fats, salts, fast foods. Stop taking the energy drinks 4 times a day.
Yeah.
Because that acts as a catalyst to anxiety and sleep problems. Sleep is another one. Again, most of that's caused from stress, anxiety, and overstimulation. Okay, so if you just take care of the physical stuff, that 3 things: exercise regularly, eat better, stop taking the stimulants, and work on the sleep part, that will stabilize your life significantly. Now, again, there's emotional, cognitive, spiritual, and social. I tell people to stabilize cognitive, educate yourself, read, stay away from the video games, the social media. That doesn't make you smarter. It makes you dumber. There's actually studies out saying that video games, most of them, first-person shooter type games, can lower IQ, and it causes other issues mentally.
That's interesting.
That are unhealthy for you. So cut that stuff out and educate yourself. Do mind games. Educate yourself about work or other areas of life beyond just gaming and social media stuff.
Yeah, reading is one of the biggest things for kids too,
reading,
isn't it?
mathematics, problem-solving games. There's stuff that you can do that's, we used to have board games back in the good old days. And, Monopoly and things where you had to problem solve and work through stuff as part of the game. So try to get back in touch with that kind of stuff. And then there's the, let's say, social. That's a big one. You need an outlet to talk to people so that you can vent, you can discuss things, you can get feedback about the realities of life and support and feel comfortable with that. And then you have the emotional. Find time to be able to laugh and to cry and to, like I said, emote.
Let me ask you a question about that, because I was just watching over the weekend. My mom and I were watching a couple episodes of this Alone. It was a pretty cool series if you ever seen it, where they give them, I guess, 10 things, and they go to an island and they're shooting squirrels and living off the land and building their own. But one of the guys got up. It was interesting because he was doing some yoga poses. So I'm like, oh, cool. I love hot yoga. I do hot yoga. Then nice cold shower afterwards. Feel great. So that goes with your physical, the front end of that conversation. But he had mentioned. He got up and he started doing forced laughter. He's like going out there by the water and he's just he's forcing laughter. That's a thing, right?
It is a thing.
Tell
it
me
is
about
a thing.
That. Yeah.
Well, forced laughter is a little different than having genuine laughter, but it's still, forced laughter creates a chemical response in the brain, which releases endorphins and other chemicals like oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, which helps to re-regulate and reset the brain in terms of its chemical homeostasis, which is a set rate. So regular laughter, I mean, listen, you can go online and find the comedy radio channel, and you can start listening to that. You can watch videos, DVDs, movies, things that you find funny, or just cutting up with your friends. And again, that along with laughter in tears, believe it or not, or crying, is crucial for stabilization of the chemistry in your brain. Crying every once in a while is important. Now, do I suggest you go out for guys and go amongst your peers and cry? No, of course not. There's a time and a place, but certainly If anybody, I don't want to plug a movie, but I watched one, like Armageddon always gets me.
Okay.
Towards the end there. So even if it's just an emotional release for that 3 to 5 minutes, and you get a little tear works out of there, nobody has to see that and stuff. And, so you have a time and place for that, obviously. But crying a little bit, laughing a little bit, that does wonders. It is the best medicine. It really is in terms of outside of exercise and nutrition. Tons of studies on that. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're talking with Dr. Scott Anderson here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. ARCTampaBay.com is his website, ARCTampaBay.com. And he also runs a really cool organization, ShareTheLoveCharities.org, as well. You can find him online, Dr. Scott Anderson. So, yeah, you were going through the 5, it's physical, emotional, cognitive, spiritual, and social.
Absolutely. So the physical is the easiest one to kind of fix for stability in your life. And then you got into, like I said, the cognitive and the social. Social is any interaction that you do with friends, peers, activities, engaging in reality, engaging in life, and going out there without altering your state of mind. Listen, going to the Bucks game and getting drunk is not a good social activity for wellness, though it may be fun. But really interacting with other people in the context of doing social things without altering your state of mind, having meaningful conversation, meaningful interactions with other people in the context of social. And then you've got spiritual. That's, I tell everybody, it's one that people should take more seriously. Spirituality is very important. That doesn't necessarily mean religion. It can. But spirituality, like you said, hot yoga, meditation, nature. For some people, going fishing, a lot of guys, is like a spiritual experience for them. They're out there in touch with nature. They're being able to let go and be part of nature, which is bigger than themselves. And they get comfort and they get motivation from that. And that's what the spirituality part is. And everybody's spiritual, believe it or not. If you understand that you exist in a world that has powers in it greater than yourself, welcome aboard. Now you're spiritual. Right. So to utilize those, whether it be in meditation, could be prayer, could be yoga, could be all just nature, enjoying nature, and then getting comfort from that and strength from that and resolve from that, that's spirituality, and everybody needs to embrace that.
Yeah, there's something about going out. I remember one particular fishing trip. I went out on Lake Tarpon, and you get out there just before the sun up, just before the rising sun. And there were, you had a bunch of fish biting. You could see the birds playing because there was bait there. So you had the bait fish, and then we're sitting there in our boat, me and the captain, and we started catching bass right about that time when the sun's coming up. So you got the sun rising over here. You're pulling in bass left and right. I mean, that's
inspirational.
So cool,
it's comforting. It's inspirational. Spirituality is very important for humans to be well. So the physical, the emotional, the cognitive, the spiritual, and the social, all of those, if you strengthen each area of those, and I tell clients all the time, take three in each area, strengthen 3 of those areas. And I guarantee it would be impossible for you to not be stable.
Right.
It would be impossible for you to not be well. Most people only focus on one. And then the other areas of their life, they're missing out. They're inadequate, and unfortunately, it affects all the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to be rounded.
All right, coming into a quick break here. Physical, emotional, cognitive, spiritual, and social. Those are the key factors of focus. 5 dimensions from Dr. Scott Anderson. Coming up here as well. More with Dr. Scott. Also got an interesting clip I'm going to play about some of the stuff happening with the federal government and the potential just how else do you say it? It's almost criminal in my mind. Soros funded by the United States State Department. To find out about that and more coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
I want to give a special thanks to Satellite Phone Store. They just hooked me up with this beautiful satellite phone, and it's a gorgeous phone. It's a great device. It's a safety device as well. Think about it. If you're out on the boat 40, 50 miles out, maybe you're going hunting or you're going hiking in the woods somewhere, you run out of cell phone service, or who knows, maybe a possible terrorist attack. It's not like our politicians aren't entrenched in all this stuff going on overseas, all over the place, all over the world. Could be a terrorist attack. They could attack the power grid. They could attack the cell phones. Who knows what they're going to attack next? Sat123.com/REQB. Sat for satellite, sat123.com/REQB, like real estate quarterback.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Dr. Scott Anderson, and we got a couple of hot listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife Lindsay and I own a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, featuring all of our listings on air. The strategy is maximum exposure, maximum profit, faster closings, and less headaches for our seller clients. If you're looking to list your property, reach out. We'd love to talk to you. 727-263-3707. If you want an introduction to any of our expert contributors that you hear on our daily show, 727-263-3707. Call or text. That's an off-air number. 9900 Ideal Lane in Hudson. This is a great opportunity for an investor. We have a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath property, 2-car garage, 1632 square foot, just under an acre of land. So you have a large lot here, multiple outbuildings as well. You have a well on site, new roof and AC in 2023. So there's a couple worries you don't have to think about. Brand new shed that was just added as well, $12,000 shed and workshop as well. Long private driveway, fenced in as well. You have a gate on the driveway, beautiful beaches close to parks, and a host of amenities. 9900 Ideal Lane in Hudson, Florida. Great opportunity for a family. Wood-burning fireplace as well, inside laundry as well. 855 112th Street North, Apartment 102. This is in Seminole, Florida, Pinellas County. Bring your dogs. It's the only building that allows dogs here. Walk out from the screen porch to the largest lake in the community. You have freshly painted, updated, and painted 1-bedroom, 1-bath with a sitting room, 55-plus community. Over 55 acres of lush tropical gardens and serene water, freshwater lakes as well. 3 months paid condo dues with full price offer, and it looks beautiful on the interior there. Great pictures from our real estate photographer team, Fabre Frameworks. All right, you can see all of our listings, PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, and it's time to feel good.
All right, we're talking with Dr. Scott Anderson here in studio. He's a mental health doctor, and stress, anxiety is some of the areas that he talks about, the mental health crisis. This here is not helping, people that have, adding stress onto the American people. I came across this clip, Scott, and I had to play this.
Walk me through, you talked about the UN NGOs. What is their role in this invasion of our country?
Well, if you remember, it's so critical. They fired Lou Dobbs 6-7 years ago, whatever it was, off Fox Business, because he showed documents where Soros was getting billions a year from the State Department and U.S. aid to give $2,000 and $1,000 and $3,000 and euro cards to the illegals coming in out of Africa and the Middle East into Europe. And then he was starting the same thing, the Darien Gap, where South and Central America come together there in Panama. So they've built these giant UN bases that we now all know about because of you.
So it's unbelievable, man. We're
Yeah.
Seemingly, it's alleged that our own country is doing this to ourselves. And we always heard, right? The only way to bring America down is from within.
Yeah, and I I get asked questions about political all the time. So I call it political psychology. And what's the political psychology behind this? What's the motivation behaviorally behind this? And it's not our country. It's a part of our country called the government. Unfortunately, the liberal or Democrat controlled faction that's in charge right now. What's the purpose of having these people incentivized to come in by the millions? I'm talking about illegal immigrants and coming to America and then being incentivized, given lots of money, shelter, food, housing, education, what have you, healthcare, the whole works. So people ask me all the time, well, why would they do that? That doesn't make sense. It's a conspiracy theory. But it's not really, because think about it. If a government wanted to control the people, you would want them ignorant. You would want them scared. You would want them dependent upon the government, so you would need them to be financially dependent upon them. So you would want to destroy the economy. You would want to create crime and have people that are in the country that would vote for them. So, of course, this is manufactured. Of course, this is by design. Why else would you take the sovereignty of a country away to let all these people and then pay for them? That's going to take away from people's jobs, their assistance in programs that are supposed to be for citizens. And then they're trying to make it illegal to look for identification in voting. Well, what purpose would that possibly serve other than to have people who are here illegally vote for them that they're paying for? So, of course, they're going to do that. And we're talking, I know they say the estimates are like 10 million. That's butkus. That's the ones we know about. But you're looking at 20, maybe 30 million illegal immigrants that are here running free. And they're flying them all over the place. 300,000 flights across, the country, embedding them all over the place. When I say them, I mean people who are here illegally. And most of those people aren't contributing. They're not contributing. They're criminals.
They're not families.
They're not. They didn't come here legally. They're hiding something, or they're coming here for other means, and they're exploiting the system. And we know that because when asked, they say that. So the Biden administration, they're doing it on purpose. They're trying to wreck the economy. They're legalizing crime. They're legalizing drugs. Why? To create chaos and destruction of the economy and the mental instability of other people. Look what they've done to the school system. They've destroyed it. The Department of Education should be banished for life. Half of them should be in prison. So, that's the psychology of politics right there. It's never good. So it would be easy. If I was a dictator, these are all the things I would implement to control behavior of citizens.
And we've heard it. That's
Absolutely.
the way you do it. You attack from the inside, and that's what they're doing there.
It's the marked citizen.
And it's not families. If you look at these videos, it's not mom and kids
No,
there. It's
they're
mostly
all,
military.
military age
It's going to be the new Antifa is what it's going to be.
Absolutely.
30 seconds, Scott. How do you want people to connect with you, my friend?
Well, again, through our charity, sharethelovecharities.org, people that donate, the money goes towards scholarships to help people with substance abuse and mental health, and we provide education. So if you go to the YouTube channel and Google Dr. Anderson Addiction, there's 77 videos on there, all about stuff that we've talked about today, which is like therapy and education for people that can't afford it or don't have access to it or can't make it to a therapist or a doctor to talk about. And they can access that for free.
Good stuff. Dr. Scott Anderson, sharethelovecharities.org. Find him online. Check out his YouTube channel as well. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, Logan Briggs, Gulf Coast Roofing, another expert contributor, local area business owner, coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show.